There was a study looking at heart disease, and they were looking at the progression towards heart disease. And the people that took supplemental vitamin C, the larger the amount, the faster they moved towards having more heart disease. And the people that had more vitamin C from dietary, as in whole form dietary vitamin C, they were protected.
Welcome to another episode of the Matter Over Mind Experience. I'm your host, master trainer, and weight management expert, Narado Zico Powell. And of course, you know your boy got some good stuff for you today, right? Yeah, I got my man Stephen Abbey in the show. Stevie is founder and creator, or should I say creative mind, behind SOS Nutrients. So what are we going to talk about? I think I gave away with the word nutrients, right? But we're going to talk about like natural versus synthetic ingredients. Most of us don't even know what those really are. So we're going to talk about them, and not only what they are, but how they impact your health, right? We're going to talk about SOS Nutrients and how they address the growing issues of chronic illness in the US. And whatever comes out of my mind, I don't know, a whole lot more stuff that comes off the top of my head today, right? But you know, of course, it's going to be some good stuff. And your boy got a hack at the episode. So what's it going to be, right? My man Steven over here is going to share his vision for the future of SOS Nutrients and how it's going to impact the health and wellness field. So that's a whole lot of stuff. That's like weight management. He and I were talking about stevia and how to spike your blood sugar just a while ago. It's going to be, you know, longevity. I mean, there's so much stuff that we're going to talk about. So stick around for this episode today. But with that being said, Steven, tell my audience about yourself.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me on. So yeah, I've done a whole bunch of businesses in my life. What I'm doing now is SOS Nutrients, and it's just a passion project because I've been looking for products for people that were sick, and I just wasn't finding the ones that I really wanted to keep them staying healthy. And I originally started going down this path because I had a bunch of medical issues that weren't being really addressed. One of them was like horrible psoriasis. Another one was reactive hypoglycemia. I had low weight. I was really struggling. And I went on kind of this crusade, and I just started finding all these studies that were fascinating. And then not only did I learn about what was going on for me, I just started going outside of that for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions. And so it's been a journey of the last 27, 28 years. And a few years ago, I was there for the last months of a friend's life who was dying of a very preventable disease. And I couldn't really get her easy, good, wholesome, whole food nutrition. So I decided to create SOS Nutrients. And that's why I did it, is because I was so impacted by what was going on for her.
So then my follow-up question is, what make SOS Nutrients different or stand out?
Well, so there are a lot of products on the market that are comprehensive, but almost none of them, or that I know of, I've never seen one, that is made from whole foods, that don't have synthetics. And there are a lot of products that are natural, but they're not comprehensive. And so what I have put together is something to really cover kind of a wide gamut. I mean, it has a full blend of mushroom powder, 2 grams, which is a substantial dose, a greens blend, and organic with cruciferous vegetables. And I have a freeze-dried organic berry blend. That's a full blend of berries. Like, it's not just, you know, a fairy dusting of it. And all of these, there's prebiotic, there's a probiotic, there's an enzyme blend, there's a botanical blend, there's an extract blend, and they all have really important, but along with all of that, it's covering all the RDA nutrients like vitamin C from a blend of freeze-dried organic berries, and, you know, iodine from a blend of 3 organic kelps from Iceland, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very long, well thought out, or at least a lot of work went into it to create it.
So then my audience is listening here and saying, and we have an idea of like synthetic versus non-synthetic, but can you give us like a say it like you're talking to a 5-year-old. So say it like you're talking to me, because apparently I'm a 5-year-old. Like what
So,
really is the difference between the two?
well, I'll put it to you this way. So I'll give you an example of, say, vitamin C from nature and from a lab. Ascorbic acid is the base of almost all the vitamin C's on the market that are not from nature. And ascorbic acid used to be manufactured in a lab in New Jersey, right? And that was 90 some odd percent of the world's supply. Now all of that's moved over to China. Now they manufacture 95%. It's only a couple of different manufacturing facilities over there. And there are a couple of different ways to do it, but the main way they make ascorbic acid is they take high fructose corn syrup, they put it under incredible pressure, incredible heat, they do an acetone wash, and then they neutralize it with hydrochloric acid. And in the end, you have a molecule that is chemically identical to what you find in nature, but it won't cure scurvy, has no vitamin activity on its own. It has to have certain cofactors, bioflavonoids, and several other things. Otherwise, it cannot work. So it has to have those present or it doesn't work. And there's a study on my website, and this has been shown many times, and where there was a study looking at heart disease, and they were looking at the progression towards heart disease. And the people that took supplemental vitamin C, the larger the amount, the faster they moved towards having more heart disease. And the people that had more vitamin C from dietary, as in whole form dietary vitamin C, they were protected. It wasn't a huge difference, but it was definitely considered protective. And the supplemental was very much considered moving them very statistically significant towards heart disease. So there's a big difference between, and that's been shown in lycopene and beta carotene. Beta carotene, huge study on lung cancer and beta carotene supplementation that got stopped early because they couldn't continue, because the people that were taking the beta carotene were having more lung cancer, whereas they started the process because people that had more beta carotene in their blood from dietary forms were shown to be protected. So that's why they gave it to begin with.
So my question now is, remember I said whatever comes to my head, everyone, right? So now a bunch of stuff is just kind of like the question marks are all over the place right now. Because then I'm thinking, you know how they say, and when I just say, we know this, that because the soil is not as rich as it used to be, right? So hence there's a lot, there are a lot less nutrients in the plants that we eat, right? So then are you saying that we shouldn't supplement, or are you saying that we may need to supplement less?
Well, in my opinion, you should supplement if there are tests you can do to see what you actually need. But if it's food, your body can, and it's gently in there in a food-based form, your body can take it, and if you have too much, it'll let it go. But if you're taking it in these massive doses from synthetic forms, so really the key thing is getting a good form, and getting a good form in a consistent amount your body needs. And knowing what that is, I designed this. There's nothing that's a huge amount except for one thing, which will be vitamin B12, because some people are plant-based. It's a water soluble vitamin. And so I did and it's a whole food as well. It's actually a type of mushroom grown on a log that has the bacteria that creates vitamin B12, because vitamin B12 comes from a bacteria, and then it's absorbed into the mushroom and then stabilized. And so it's a whole food form of vitamin B12. Wasn't easy getting to that product, but in any event, long story with that. But so all of my nutrients are in small amounts, where your body can take them or let them go as needed. But they're gentle because they come in a lot of bulk and in a natural way, all connected as in nature. So it's not done as an isolated nutrient.
So, and then what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm often incorrect, of course, is what I'm hearing here is, when you get it from nature, when not only do you get the, let's say, the vitamin C, but you're getting all the other benefits that come along with getting it from nature, like the polyphenols, which may help with how your body utilizes the vitamin C, right? Versus if
Yep.
you get it from a synthetic form, you don't get those particular benefits. So your body, and I'm purposely using the word may not use it as well.
Yes, that would be accurate. And there are still uses for synthetic vitamins. So there's a way of treating cancer with ascorbic acid where they actually inject it into your veins. They use 100 grams. So that's like 10,000% of the RDA, like just ginormous, right? But and the way that works is it creates hydrogen peroxide on the site of the cancer cell in certain cancers. And what they do is they actually inject you with plasma of high oxygen plasma. So you're hyperoxygenated. So when you do that, it creates hydrogen peroxide easier. But that's now using this as a drug, not really being used for nutrition. And I think in most cases, you can use synthetic nutrients for an acute period when you have a real imbalance, if it's the right one. But for long-term nutrition, it's a really poor idea, in my opinion.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? There is no replacement for fruits and vegetables. See, no matter what you try, you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna get my vitamin C or my vitamin D or whatever." There's no replacement for fruits and vegetables. You know, it's funny to me, Steve. Like when there are grown people who say they don't like fruits and vegetables, I'm like, "What are you, 5?" Like, there's no replacement for fruits and vegetables. We talked about it for the episode, right? And we said that the problem isn't necessarily the food or the diet or whatever. The problem is us. I'm a picky eater. I don't like this. You know, by the way, that's sticking the craw for me, because people say they're a picky eater, but they will go to McDonald's, but then they won't eat lettuce. And I'm like, or something, you know, natural that's good for them. And I'm like, you're not a picky eater. You're a stupid eater. That's really what you are. But, you know, so yeah, so it's like, that's nothing that kind of sticks in the craw for me. But yeah, seriously, like there's no replacement for that at the end of the day. And when you have individuals that have products like these that gives your body what it works best with, you really stop and think about what you're putting in your body, and maybe you want to look more towards that line. And with that being said, guess what? We're already in the middle of the show, and I want to talk about one of my favorite products. I want to talk about Heal, and of course, I got to talk about the Amino Co, because they make Heal, right? Heal is 100% science-backed, EAA formulated product designed to reduce recovery times and improve physical function by accelerating muscle repair, by helping you maintain a healthy inflammatory response. I always mess up when I say around that point right there, right? But a healthy inflammatory response. Come on, Zico, get it right. Because Heal, the formulation Heal is so great. Like, I absolutely love it. I don't recommend anything that I don't use myself. It has essential aminos, not just branched chain, not just 3, but essential aminos and creatine, along with whey protein concentrate. And I purposely drink it as an intra workout, even sometimes as like a post, but later on in the day workout to help me recover, because my body can utilize those very well. I mean, check them out. I absolutely love Heal. And another thing about it is that Heal actually has all natural flavors. They have not just Heal, especially Amino Co have all natural flavors. Perform, they have all natural flavors. Heal, all natural flavors. So, you know, so you want to get away from a lot of this artificial fillers and colors and sweet, you know, all the stuff that they use, right? So check out Heal. I absolutely love it. And this is a research where the net bounce, it was a comparison of 1-2 scoops of Heal with high quality whey protein, right? And they looked at the whole body protein synthesis and breakdown, right? And the response to Heal was found to be 3 times larger than whey protein on a gram-to-gram basis. But again, because of the form that Heal is in, your body can use it when it needs to use it. That's why I use it as an intra workout, or even has to help me to recover post workout. Because you know, when your boy trains, your boy goes hard in the paint. So I need some stuff to help me to be able to go hard the next day and recover, and, you know, just do what I got to do. Anyway, enough of me talking. The website, aminoco.com/ZicoHealth. You get 30% off. It's like 30% because I'm just nice like that. 30% off. And of course, the website is going to be down below in the description of the episode. And with that being said, we're moving on because we're going to talk more about Steve over here and SOS Nutrients. So then, Steve, earlier in the episode, right, you started talking about all these different blends, right? How did you come up with these? I mean, of course, you had scientists and doctors and so on and so forth to help you, but how did you guys come up with like certain blends for certain needs?
Well, I have been researching this for years, and I have books on everything, like, or not on everything, but I have read all these books, right? And I have, the magnesium miracle, the iodine crisis, the, mushrooms and how important they are, and vitamin C, and all of these different things on prebiotics and gut health. And what I came to the conclusion is, what people are doing is they're buying this one. Oh, they're buying vitamin E over here. Oh, and they're buying, vitamin C over here, or they're buying a multivitamin, but it's all just a synthetic packed vitamin. So one, you've got binding agents in there that make it hard to absorb. Two, those are all synthetic because you can't get, like, I'm going to be making a multivitamin, but it's like 5 large capsules. And that's not, it's the best I can do to get everything in there, but it's still, that is not going to have the mushrooms. It won't have the prebiotics. It won't have the greens. It won't have, it'll have greens in there, but it won't have like a full set of greens that would be in my smoothie product. Because my original product is designed to be mixed into a smoothie because I didn't have any flavorings or sweeteners or anything like that. So it's made to take an amazingly healthy smoothie and make it life-changing. So where you have things like green tea in there, you have mushrooms in there, you have all of the nutrients like vitamin K2, which almost nobody gets enough of, but especially plant-based people. But it has vitamin K2 in there from a natto extract. It has iodine in there that wouldn't normally be in there. It has selenium in there, et cetera, zinc, which wouldn't normally be in there. So, but it takes something like, I have a smoothie on my website. It's called the Whole Nine Yards, and it has greens, it has berries, it has nut butters, it has, it's got a cruciferous veggie blend in it. It's like, that's a really amazing smoothie, but it doesn't have all these things. So when the product comes in, it really kind of balances out all of those good things and makes it something where, when I've tested people's blood before and after, you're having a pretty amazing response within about 6 weeks.
That's huge. That's huge. It caught me mid-type there because I was typing out the show notes. I was like, you stopped me. I was like, oh man, come on. I wasn't fast enough. I typed like a grandpa, I guess, which,
Oh yeah, same with me.
I know, but I didn't get classes when I was younger. But anyway, I wanted to really address that though, because people hear these things and they're like, because we hear words thrown around like prebiotic, we hear words thrown around about anti-inflammation, all that stuff. But I like that you've done the research, and then when you formulate certain products, it's designed for a certain reason. I want my audience to know how you came across it and why it's designed like that. So that's great, which leads me to my next question then. What does the future look like for SOS Nutrients, especially when you combine it with the health and wellness field?
Yeah, well, so what all of these products right now are really meant to take somebody that is on their health journey, but doesn't have a specific chronic disease, and basically, hopefully, keep them from having a chronic disease. It's really designed. They're anthocyanins, which protect the heart and the brain. There's lutein and zeaxanthin for the eyes. There's zinc for men to create testosterone, and for women, of course. It's really a comprehensive thing, right? But it's really designed to just keep people healthy. That's the main thing. My next ones are going to be like blood pressure support, blood sugar support, things like that. And I'll do one for psoriasis, because if you saw what my psoriasis used to look like and the fact that it's gone, I'm sure some of your listeners have psoriasis, and I'm going to design something. It's probably not going to be the first one because I don't even know exactly. I throw so many things at my own for my own health journey. I'm not sure which part of it was the stuff that actually worked. So I'm going to have to go in and do some tests on which one of these things work and get it boiled down, because otherwise it's just too much. So, but that's where I'm going in the future, is to actually treating things. And I'm in the process of doing studies right now. So I'm actually testing these things. I'm testing people, their inflammation levels, their oxidation levels, their, their blood sugar levels. I have a whole, I'm spending literally thousands of dollars on these blood tests, but I'm really curious to see how much of an impact a smoothie a day can make in 6 weeks. And I had this guy, Forrest Galante, who's the host of Animal Planet Discovery, really well known in that world. And, he went from and he gave me authorization to talk about this. He went from a huge amounts of inflammation, huge amounts of blood sugar and oxidative stress, and basically, went substantially better. C-reactive protein went from 10.9 to 1.6 in 5.5 weeks. That's a big change. You're not supposed to have that. His blood sugar went from a 5.7 A1C to a 5.0. Basically, I know your listeners probably aren't all familiar with that, but these are just, the first one is a representation of inflammation, the second one, blood sugar, and then oxidative stress was the other one, full test on oxidative stress. And these are like something called 8-OHDG, which is a marker of DNA damage, where it turns into the red zone on that test is 400. His was 1,048. So it dropped down to 335. So it dropped down by almost 65%. Like, these are really substantial numbers. Now, but I brought him a Rockstar smoothie. So that was part of the reason.
Rockstar, and not the brand Rockstar, by the way. That's not what we're talking about here. Not the brand Rockstar. Just to be very clear there, right? But you know what? It makes me think about this word, epigenetics, because we have stuck in today's society where we think, oh, if my mother our father had something, then I'm gonna have it. Like, we have so much more information now to know that's not true. The reason why, you're more genetically prone to have it. Yes, that is true. We know that's true. But we have so much more evidence to show that the things that we do in our life can turn on and off certain gene expressions, right? And like, for example, asthma. Everybody in my family pretty much struggles with asthma or bronchitis, some kind of breathing issue, including this guy right here. I've been on albuterol, I've been on Advair, and then I've been on pills because it was connected to my allergies, all kinds of stuff, right? When I took my life into my own hands, this March coming up, again, I just turned 40, so this is not supposed to happen. This March coming up is March I passed. 4-year anniversary, I've been off all my medications, and I've been able to work out harder and feel so much better, breathe easier by making lifestyle changes. Now, there's so many other people in my family who struggle with these things because apparently, they want to do what they want to do. My sister, love her to death. My sister has really bad eczema. So did I. Guess what? My skin is all clear, right? And that's why your boy is so handsome, of course. I have a nice, beautiful, clear skin. So, but my sister still struggles, and she's been taking steroids, all kinds of medications, like all her life, but she refuses to make the lifestyle changes, right? Honestly, Steven, sometimes I feel like until something threatens our life, we don't really care. We feel like we can just take the medicine and live with it. I see that quite often, unless the people like me and you who actually go out and make those changes. But my point is that when we make lifestyle changes, it can make a big difference. And that's the premise behind the Matter Over Mind experience. That's the premise behind Zico Health. This is why I bring on guests like Steven, so you can learn these things that can transform your life. Now, I want to say this. We're not diagnosing you. We're not saying you should stop doing what your doctor is saying. We're not saying anything like that. What we're saying is you need to consider the things that you can do in your life to make your life better, improve your health, or maybe even live longer and feel better while you're living. Because there's a difference between health span and lifespan, right, Steve? Like, you can live longer, but you may not be healthier. And go ahead, Steve, you had a point on that.
No, well, it's funny that you mentioned that. There was a study done where it was looking at people, like, I think it came out in like 2008, and it was comparing it to 1998, and people were living, what was it, a year longer, but they had 2 more years of being infirm. So we had one step forward and 2 steps back. And so living, and you brought up epigenetics, and genetics are important. And the way I've heard this expression before, it loads the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. So if you don't live that lifestyle, you don't pull the trigger. And so many of us have something that can go sideways. So if we're living a really healthy life, to a great degree, we can avoid a lot of those things.
And you know what we pass on too, right? Like, it's really interesting that what we pass on can really change, because if you change your life, it may not be first generation, may not be second, may even be third generation. But you know how, because as you say, you may be more prone to something because your parents had it. But if your great or grandparents may have it, you're going to be less prone to it, right? Just naturally, it's understanding how the body works. So that's something that you got to understand. If we all love our children, or hope we all love our children, right? And we want to pass on the best to them, not just financially, but also genetically. So the things that you do in your life help with that. Your lifestyle choices help with that, and also their kids and grandkids and so on and so forth. So just please remember that. Please keep that in your forehead, actually your forehead, and in the front of your brain, or in front of your mind, or however they say it. But with that being said, it's a Jamaican thing. Sometimes I forget what words I need to use. But with that being said, Steve, let my audience know, how can we learn more about your work, maybe get some of your products, so on and so forth.
So I'll send you a discount code so you can put it at the bottom, but you just go to my website, sosnutrients.com. Again, sosnutrients.com. And there's tons of information on there. And not only that, but I'm probably not supposed to do this, but you're welcome to give out my number. I'll send it there. Again, this is my passion. I'm just excited for people to really get healthy. And I think usually in a 15-minute call, somebody can really learn a lot. I don't take anything over the phone. So I'll send you my number, and you can just put it on there, and they can call me as well and chat with me about it. So, but sosnutrients.com, the website, is a great first start. Let's put it that way.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that the website and the discount code, because we don't know what it is yet, that is going to be in the show notes. And the show notes are going to be, of course, this is nice and easy, right? You know what it's going to be. zecohealth.com/SOSnutrients. What else was it going to be? And the show notes, of course, are going to be in the description of the podcast, right? So there you go. It's going to be nice and easy. You can just click, get your discount, and learn more about health. Apparently, you can call Steve if you need to. So, I might take him up on that. And with that being said, thank you, Steve, for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And that's it for today.